can you provide us a bit of a bit of an update on, sort of what occurred here with the lower body issue in relation to your challenging rehab with the core issues?
Had a knee scope done yesterday. It was something that it kind of popped up a few weeks after I had my abdominal surgery. Something that I had noticed. We finally got it looked at, and found that there was something that needed to be removed in my knee. It wasn't any sort of repair work or major structural work that was done. So it should be a pretty quick recovery.
Thank you, Bob. We will go to Reed Wilkins. Go ahead, Reed.
Hey, Evander. Just sort of, I'll just throw both of them at you here. How frustrating, or how are you dealing with the mental side of not being able to play, and how confident are you that you will play games for the Edmonton Oilers this season? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to yesterday's surgery, to be honest, I'm not frustrated at all. I'm actually really happy that we were able to fix that and get me to 100%, so that when I do come back and play this year, I'm feeling 100%. And I know it might put a pause for a couple of weeks on my current rehab process, but it won't be very long. I think the number that was out there was 4 to 8 weeks, and that's getting back playing after a procedure like this. So in terms of rehabbing and training and continuing to feel better, that break is going to be very short.
Thank you, Reed. We'll go to Derek Van Diest of HL.com.
Hey, Evander, Derek here. I just wanted to ask you, how far along were you on your rehab process before this happened? Were you back on skates? Were you skating, or where were you in that process?
No, I haven't been on the ice yet. I think we were doing a great job with resting and letting things heal with my abdominal surgery. I think that was a big key, and has helped me feel as good as I do today. And that's one of the biggest reasons why is doing a lot of the work we were doing in the pool, some small exercises off the ice, and again, just letting the surgery do its thing and heal my body to the best of my ability. And again, that's why I feel so good today, which is really positive, and it gives me something to look forward to. And this knee procedure was more of something that we could manage and get that done, so that wouldn't affect me when I did come back, and then possibly have to miss the entire season. So it was great to get this cleaned up, and I plan to be 100% and ready to go at some point this season.
Do you have a timeline when you might be able to start getting back on the ice and start skating again?
Start skating? Not exactly sure. I have a timeline in my head that I'm probably not going to share today, but I don't think that timeline's changed with this surgery.
Thanks, Evander.
No problem.
Thank you, Derek. We'll go to Daniel Nugent-Bowman of The Athletic.
I think I'm unmuted. Hi, Evander. Sorry, I just wanted to clear something up, because it sounded like you said the 4 to 8 weeks, that's when you might be able to start coming back. I just wanted to kind of clear up, will you have to kind of continue your previous rehab after those 4 to 8 weeks from the knee surgery?
Yeah, so sorry to clarify.
Right.
48 weeks is, let's say I didn't have abdominal surgery and I just had this procedure and I was playing. Yeah, that would be the timeline of when an NHL player could come back from this procedure within 4 to 8 weeks. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so then you have to keep going with the previous surgery, the previous rehabilitation from the last surgery. That's correct?
Yeah, I don't, like I said a few questions ago, I anticipate it, taking a week or two off from the norm of what I've been doing thus far and continuing, and then getting right back into it. So I don't think it's gonna slow me down greatly, or my timeline down greatly, with this surgery.
And you did say you do anticipate playing this year. You know, if you do, it'll be pretty late in the year. How challenging will that be to kind of get on a moving train? Do you anticipate as you head close to the end of the season and into the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I've dealt with injuries in the past. I've dealt with coming off the couch and joining a brand new team in 2022. So I do have a little bit of experience like that with that. At the same time, I think I'll be in a much better situation coming back this time. Obviously, feeling 100% healthy and in great shape and ready to rock. So whenever that time is, you know, I'm looking forward to being a big contributor.
Thank you, Daniel. We'll go to Steve Sandor of the Canadian Press.
Thanks for doing this, Evander. Maybe just so far this season, how difficult has it been to watch games and to watch this team play? And yes, the team's going well right now, 18-4-1 over the last little bit, but how hard has it been to be on the sidelines?
It's never fun to not be playing and doing something that you've been doing for me now 16 years. So it's not easy to watch. At the same time, I think over the course of the summer and the off season, after having a devastating loss in the Stanley Cup final last year, and not being able to be a part of the end of the series, mentally I was kind of prepared to take the time I needed to get my body back to 100%. And that way, when I come back, I know I can be the player that everybody knows I am. And so from a mental aspect, that's kind of been my focus this entire time. And, as much as you want to be out there playing, which I definitely do, I knew the focus and the goal was to get myself back to 100%, so I can be the player that I know I can.
Thank you, Steve. Just a reminder, if you do have a question, to use the raised hand function. We'll go to Jason Gregor. Go ahead, Jason.
Evander, we've seen players come back from injuries, and depending on what it is, it impacts your timing, your hands, etc. For all the core stuff that you had done, what's the docs telling you is what's going to be the biggest challenge when you come back to NHL hockey from this recovery?
Well, I think, when it comes to the injury and what it affected the most last year, was skating through pain. Every time you take a stride, you feel like you're tearing about 4 or 5 different things. So, just walking around, just being able to lift your leg off the ground 6 inches, that was a struggle last year. So, as I sit here today, I could barely jog or run last year. So as I sit here today, I feel 1,000 times better. So I think skating will probably be the biggest indicator of how good I truly do feel once I get back on the ice. And as I sit here today, I feel that that is going to go really well once I do get back on the ice.
One of the key parts of your game is you need to be a good skater to be physical. You're obviously the most physical player that the Oilers have. It's an element that the team has missed. Do you notice that, and do you feel very confident that when you come back, if maybe your timing's not where you want hand-wise, that you can definitely be an impactful player with speed and physicality?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a believer you're not going to score every single night, so you got to impact the game in different ways. That makes you that can help you make the team effective, you effective each and every night. So at the same time, I think when I do come back, based on what I went through last year, I feel confident that I can be the player that I know I can.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jason. We'll go to Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Yeah, Evander. A big part of this, from a team perspective, of course, is cap space. It's always cap space in today's world. How important for you is it to get games in before the playoffs start? Like, how vital is it to get some regular season games in against the prospect of just joining the team on day one of the playoffs and trying to make that work?
To be honest, that time frame from if I play a handful of games or 15 games before the end of the regular season, or I come back in the playoffs, I haven't really given much thought to that. my focus has been getting back to 100%. That's why I got that procedure done yesterday. So I could feel 100% when I get back, and there were no issues moving forward. Whenever I'm 100%, I will, I will make myself available and intend to play hockey. So we're not there today. I'm not exactly sure what date that will be, but what I can promise everybody is I'm doing everything I can to make sure that's as soon as possible.
You characterize the knee as, not as big a deal as the way you said it. It's not, you can get over this. Tell us about the abdominal thing. Abdominal injuries can be complicated, hard to come back from. It can be a big picture thing. How's that rehab gone? How much rehab left do you have?
Yeah, kind of touched on a little bit. That rehab's gone really well. I think, I'm a big believer based on some of the other procedures I've had and what I've learned over the past is rest and letting your body actually heal before you really get into the nitty gritty tough parts of rehab. And I think, we've done a good job of managing that line with rest and recovery and exercising. So we're going to continue to do that over the next couple of weeks, and I think really start to ramp up here pretty soon.